My name is Corinne, and I did my biography on Eliza Hamilton. Hi, I was born on August 9th, 1757 in Albany, New York. I had a father and a mother named Philip and Catherine Schuyler. I also had many siblings, and my sisters' names were Angelica, Peggy, and Cornelia. I also had a brother named John, and he and Cornelia were twins, but they both sadly died. John died right after he was born, and Cornelia a few months after. About a year after the twins were born, my mother gave birth to another boy, but he also sadly died in November of that year. My mother finally gave birth to a healthy son and once again named him John. After John had just turned 5, my mom gave birth to another boy and named him Philip Jr. A few years later, another boy was born, and my parents named him Rensselaer. My family was part of the Dutch Reformed Church, and we were all very religious. After I turned 5 in 1762, it was a very hard year, and my grandmother, Cornelia, passed away. My sisters and I had a very good education and learned to speak French as well as English. It was also important for us to learn how to play music like the piano and guitar. We were also taught how to dance gracefully and when writing letters to have perfect spelling and grammar. As soon as we were all old enough to go to boarding school, our parents sent us away to learn all these things. We were also taught to embroider and maintain a household with children and servants. In my childhood, I didn't just go to school, but also learned how to ride horses, and I also played with my sister Angelica and some of my cousins. I was a housewife and later on in my life a social figure. I also took care of my children and even some of my friends' children. At this time in history, women did not work and spent most of their time taking care of children and also taking care of the house, and if they were rich, slaves and crops. Later on, I raised lots of money for important causes and important places. I married Alexander Hamilton on December 14th, 1780. Soon after, I got pregnant with my first child, and he was born on January 2nd, 1782, and I named him Philip after my father. Over the rest of the years, I had many children, including Angelica, Alexander Jr., James Alexander, William S. Hamilton, Eliza Hamilton Hawley, Philip Jr., and John Church Hamilton. Later on in life, I also adopted one of my best friend's children after their mother passed away. I believed in helping others, so I was always trying to do good deeds. I brought food and clothes to soldiers in the French and Indian War, and much later in life, I also founded the first private orphanage in New York City. We called it the Orphan Asylum Society, and it opened in 1821. I founded it with 2 other women named Sarah Hoffman and Isabella Graham. We would all go on to raise hundreds of children together. We took care and supervised the care of education of more than 765 children. I also helped raise money for the orphanage and helped make it a wonderful and happy place for them. Even though I was in my late 90s now, I still wanted to help and do charity work, so I helped raise money for the Washington Monument. But I had help from Dolly Madison and Louisa Adams. We finally raised enough money for the Washington Monument. I had lots of energy and put it into helping other people. I helped fund a free school and an orphanage in New York. I wanted to help children in need, and so I wanted to help children in need. I did lots of things such as charity work, especially in my later life, and loved helping people and taking care of them. I especially loved taking care of my children and my friends' children. I also adopted some children later in life and took care of them as if they were my own. Eliza died on November 9th, 1854 at the age of 97 years old. She died in Washington, D.C. just after 11 o'clock, and her heart was failing and she was suffering from short-term memory loss before she died. She was with one of her sons, James, when she finally passed away. She had been a widow for 5 decades before she died, and she died of old age and natural causes. She lived a happy, full life and did many wonderful things. Thank you.